Hi there. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about staying on course and on our trajectory. So we talked about, in our last video, we talked about programming. And so part of this process, the next process is immersing and submerging, I call it. And it's basically the reprogramming process, where this is the fun part where, well, I say that a lot, but there's a lot of fun parts. This is where we really want to immerse ourselves in anything that is for growth, for evolution, for expansion, for enlightenment. It's about knowledge and wisdom and really finding our authenticity, finding what really resonates with us, with our heart, what really invigorates us. And so another part of this is knowing that having those boundaries is really important, because we want to have boundaries with certain things that can bring us down. So while we're trying to stay on this trajectory of empowering ourselves and enriching our lives and finding those things that are wholesome and innocent and invigorating and the most beautiful way, it's important to have those boundaries, because what seems like innocent enough fun can kind of get us off course. And alcohol is one of those. It's like, oh, I'm just going to go do this or that with my friends. It's going to be fine. So you want to have boundaries, and in that have a mindset of, okay, I'm saying within the 6-week course, we want to stay away from alcohol completely. But we also want to start thinking about how we reintegrate, how we come out of, if you went into hermit mode completely, awesome. But now it's like, how do we reintegrate where we're still able to go have fun with our friends and family, but without getting off track? We want to keep that trajectory going. So when there's a social event or something, we want to have the mindset before we go to a wedding, before we go to the baby shower, before we go to a work event or happy hour. We want to already have in our mind how it's going to play out. And this is where we can listen to our intuition as well. Practice that our intuition is like a muscle, and so we'll be able to know beforehand, if this is going to keep us on our trajectory, or if it's going to be a little bit too, so you use your discernment, with certain events. And, of course, a wedding, it's like, you're not going to be like, I can't go to a wedding because of this or that. But no, it's about really having an appointment with yourself beforehand and saying, okay, I'll allow myself XYZ, and that is it. And knowing, you picture yourself at the wedding, you picture yourself with who might be there, and it's it's about not being not tempted. Temptation's always going to be there, and when we come on the brighter side of it, that's a win, and we'll feel that, and people will be like, wow, that's awesome, good for you for sticking to your guns and staying on course and in your trajectory. So we want to exercise that and know that when we have this mindset, when we go into whatever event we're going to go to, we already know how it's going to play out, and not be easily swayed. That's what I meant to say, not temptation. It's tempted and swayed, because it's easy to go with the masses. It's easy to go with what's more popular, but what's more popular isn't always what's best for us. It's rare that the more popular thing is good for us, and that's to do with anything. The most popular movie, the most popular food, they're typically not good for us. It's just what everyone likes, and that's okay. But this is where we really draw the line in the sand and set those boundaries with what we eat, who we hang out with, how long we hang out with them. What's discussed. Gossip is toxic. So if you're at a table, let's just say at a wedding again, I like using a wedding as an example because that's typically what gets me off course. So the lesson learned, I realized that, I didn't have the right mindset, and historically going into a wedding, I would have gone, 45 days without drinking and been feeling awesome. And then I go to the wedding, I'm just like, it's a wedding, it's, whatever. So, that's a time where we can really, even though it's just one event, that one event can really change your trajectory. So having the mindset of, okay, I won't tolerate gossip, I won't have more than XYZ amount of alcohol, or I'll stay away from it completely. There's a lot of temptation at celebrations, and but if you go into the mindset of this is going to be this is a celebration, and it's a celebration of love. Like, there's no better energy than that, right? And but bringing in that wholesomeness, that innocence, that's what it's supposed to be about anyway, right? It's not about getting trashed. It's not about gossip and all those things. So, and that's just one example. I mean, this can happen at a work event, or anything, a birthday party, a dinner. There's always going to be temptation, and it always comes off as innocent at first, and then it's always the next day. So the next following days that it can really get us off course. And I'll use myself as an example. Let's say I go to a birthday dinner, and then one glass of wine turned to 5. Let's just say. The next day, not only will I feel more on the lethargic side, but I'll eat what I eat isn't normally what I would want to be eating. I'll settle for a fast food place, or some snack foods in the pantry that aren't the best for me, but they're quick and they're easy, and so that will kind of snowball into a downward trajectory where our energy will be lower and lower, and then our vibrations lower. So it's all about staying ahead of these things, having the right mindset when we go to certain things. We are stepping into a new identity. We're stepping into a new person. We shed the old version of us. And so it's really easy to fall into old habits. And so I use myself as an example. I'm not saying any of you are that bad, but I would give in to temptation all the time, and then wonder why my life was always mundane and like, I just get whatever handed to me. And it's like, okay, well, you made these little choices all the time that kept you on a certain trajectory, and so those little choices really do have a compounding effect. And so let's just keep that in mind. And so back to immersing. So we're keeping those strong boundaries with people, with food, with anything we consume, whether it's something we hear or something we eat or something we look at. Anything we consume is part of our reality. It's part of our vibration. It's part of how we feel. And so immersing ourselves, like today, for example, it's a nice, beautiful spring day, and I am ready for some spring linens. So I'm going to go out and get myself something, and I want to kind of check in with myself today and see which chakra can use the most amount of help. Like what energy center do I feel is off balance, or what aromas or smells would be nice when I come home from work or come home from whatever, and just smell that in my house. Like, what is it? Lavender? Is it rose? Is it whatever clean linens? That smells good. That candle smell. Anything like that. That like that freshness. We want to have that in our environment, but then also what do we want to listen to? Like, what's intriguing me right now? What's like right now I'm intrigued by travel. Like, so, what do I feel called to? I don't know, but let's find a YouTube playlist that's all about Europe, or all about the Mediterranean, or all about the Caribbean, or all about cruise lines. I don't know, but just kind of dive into that, and then you can look at the history of cruise lines, and it can kind of go into those healthy rabbit holes. So immersing ourselves into whatever interests us, that's innocent, clean, fun, and it's wholesome, and you're gaining wisdom and you're gaining knowledge in doing so. And so that's enriching us, and so keeping those boundaries with Netflix and with anything that might be too dramatic or too the 6-week challenge is awesome, and it's creating that new baseline, but then we have to keep on it. We have to keep on the trajectory. So this is what this particular video is all about, is when we come out of the 6 weeks, what's our mindset? Let's hold on to the intention. Let's hold on to what the best version of ourselves looks like. What does that look like? For me, I'm 38 right now, and when I'm 65, I want to look physically as similar to this as possible, right? So that means walking every day. That means stretching every day. That means eating fruits and vegetables every day. And when I'm at the grocery store and I see somebody who it's like very obvious they didn't take care of themselves, I make a mental note of that. I'm like, I wonder what brought them there. I wonder what brought them to this point. Why are they in their early 60s in a cart? Like that. I'm sorry, but those are little choices that they probably made throughout their life that got them there. Of course, it's unfortunate. There's accidents that happen too. But that's also our mindset. Like, how can we avoid these accidents? Like, for instance, like in school, they teach us, like, to stretch or to do certain things. I know for me, most of my accidents happen when I was drunk. Like, that's taking ownership. Like, I did that to myself, And so now, like, how do I keep on my trajectory? And things are going to happen. There's tragedies, there's accidents, there's, of course, and I'm not trying to sound like I don't have any compassion, because I do, but we have to think about ourselves all the time and think about how we could be the best version of ourselves and avoid mistakes, and then when mistakes happen, turn them into lessons. Like, okay, I won't do that again. Last night, oh my gosh, I ran out of gas on the freeway. First time in my life I've ran out of gas on the freeway. Like, anything's happened on the freeway to me, knock on wood. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? And that was that. And then at the same time, I realized when I was at work last night, I forgot my phone charger. So not only did I run out of gas, so it was like I ran out of all the juices. I'm like, this is some sort of sign, what's going on? And so I feel like what I could take from this lesson is I need to be better prepared. The last 2 years since I've been on this journey, I've been feeling like I've always got my what together. I'm always prepared. I try to keep disciplined. But what I'm learning is no. When we level up, it comes to a point where, and what's funny is I've been feeling the last week or two that I've been kind of creeping into this stagnant energy. So even though I have a routine, even though I'm on a personal growth journey, I haven't been reaching lately. I haven't been fine-tuning my morning routine or evening routine or journaling as much as before, or meditating as much. And so here I am, I've been on this journey and I'm preaching about it, but then it's like, no, I got to check myself from time to time too. And that's what happens on this trajectory, is like, it levels out sometimes. And then when weird stuff like that happens, it's an opportunity to check ourselves and be like, what did I do? What has happened recently that made me feel like I wasn't taking the best care of myself, or I wasn't planning like as much as or in tune, am I getting enough sleep? Am I taking the best care of myself that I could take? Am I eating the right things? So, because this is all to do with being prepared, and that has everything to do with the mind. And so it's amazing, but that's all about self-awareness. And when things like this happen, it's like, there's no one to blame but me. I did this to myself, So back to how we keep on our trajectory and how we want to keep an image of our best version of us, So the best version of me is always prepared and feeling good. And there's going to be times when I'm not, and we're not. But it's just about making a mental note of it and then not judging ourselves. What's funny is, like, last night, the whole time, because of everything I learned not to panic. Do not panic. You're going to be fine. You're breathing, your heart's beating, there's cars flying past you, but it is what it is. Just relax, and know that help is on its way, and you'll be I sat there for 2.5 hours waiting for people to help me. And as my batteries, so finally I called the highway patrol, but I just remember, don't panic, don't blame yourself, don't judge yourself, don't judge a situation. You're not a victim. And I also learned that I felt abandoned in the situation. So that felt like, if I'm going to take a lesson from the universe, it's that I never, ever want to feel abandoned or unsafe. So how do I stay 10 steps ahead all the time to never feel that way again? Or, to try not to feel that way again. How can I better prepare? How can I, should I get certain things for my car, an extra battery pack, or have extra chargers in my car, or what I mean? These are just lessons. They're lessons. And so it's important to not judge ourselves, but to just take the lesson from it. And so I sat there, and since I had a lot of time to sit there, there was several things I thought about. And so what I'm proud of is that I didn't sit there with my steering wheel like, dang it, Stacy, have a knee-jerk reaction and go straight into panic mode. I did start to panic when I was down to 3% and still no one was there. That's when I was like, oh my God, someone get here. But just I just kept saying, the universe has my back. It's fine. But anyway, we want to take times like that. Those are opportunities to take a lesson rather than judging yourself or beating yourself up. So anyway, if we've gotten anything out of this video, it's how the joy of immersing ourselves and submerging ourselves into wonderful content and our environment. creating those, keeping those strong boundaries with people, with foods, with substances, with content, with all those things. Not to judge ourselves, but to always look at it as an opportunity. Same with triggers. When we're triggered by somebody or something, those are opportunities to take a moment and be like, okay, breathe through this. Why am I triggered? Why am I triggered? I might not know right this second, but I'm going to take this as an opportunity, it's a lesson. It's something that's inside me that, there's a reason why I'm being triggered. And write it down in a journal. Or, these are just, we never want to judge ourselves or to react. Just respond and be the observer of what's happening. Take in what's going on. There's always some sort of lesson. And lessons are wonderful because it's just an opportunity for growth. And so, yeah, boundaries, immerse, submerge. Don't judge yourself. Be nice to yourself. Have compassion for yourself. Last night I had to do that. Like, Stacey, it's okay. I forgot to get gas. My gauge is broken, and I forgot. I always keep it above a half a tank, but for whatever reason yesterday, I noticed it was a quarter tank, but it wasn't actually a quarter tank. It was empty. So, lesson learned. Have compassion. Go get that fixed. It's a lesson, and it's a lesson that I don't want to feel unsafe. I don't want to feel abandoned. And one of the things that came into my head was the only one who could truly abandon you is yourself. And it's true. Like, at the end of the day, if I really, really, really needed out of that situation, I have legs. Just get out of your car and walk. Like, go get gas. Go home. Walk home. There's always a way. There's always a way to figure it out. Just don't panic. Don't panic, and know the universe always has your back, and there's always a lesson whenever something unfortunate or not unfortunate, something that's inconvenient that happens. It's just a lesson. It's there for a reason. So anyway, I hope you got a little nugget out of this video, and I hope you stay on course. And if we have hiccups, oh my gosh, it's totally natural. It's totally fine. Just don't judge yourself. Observe yourself. Observe why, and see if there's any lessons in there, and then journal about it, and then look at it as an opportunity to expand and grow. And that's all. Okay. Have a great day. Bye.